coach of the Albany Great Danes. Coach Brown, how things have been in Albany, man?
Everything's going well. Besides the weather, all good, man. How about you guys?
Hey, it was going good down here as well, Coach. It's February here, heading to March Madness, and excited for the Final Four being here once again, Coach.
Last time it was in Atlanta, it was a good time, and I think all of us coaches enjoyed our time in Atlanta, and hopefully the weather is as good as we anticipate, and it'll be another great Final Four.
Yes, indeed, Coach. You're in the middle of year 19, leading the Great Danes. What do you feel has been your greatest accomplishment over your time leading the Albany Great Danes?
Making it to 19 years.
How is that?
No, I mean, tough business, tough profession.
No doubt.
I just think every year presents new challenges. It's, a new group each year. Guys graduate, new guys come in, and, every team's a little bit different. You can't coach the same team every way. The same way. But, for me, I took over a brand new Division I program. So we've been fortunate enough to go to the NCAA tournament 5 times. And I think getting there that first time was really special. Each time's special, but to do it the first time it's ever been done in school history, that's something that you never forget.
You got there right, and coaches, I feel like for your longevity, the key to it had to been being aligned with your president and your AD. If those two things aren't in sync, there's no way you can succeed as a head coach in D1 basketball these days.
There's the president, the AD, and a lot of times at the Division I level, presidents change, athletic directors change, and each president and each athletic director is a little bit different. They have different ideas and different thoughts, and but I think if you're going to have a successful program, you have to be on the same page with your AD and your president, and more importantly, you have to have their support. And communication is huge, and I've been very lucky in that regard.
And Coach, at the lower major level, Coach, it's very key for you and your staff to find guys and really develop guys in the spring, summer, and the early fall for the things kick off in November. So, Coach, what did you guys do this offseason to kind of get your team ready for this year and get them their minds and bodies and spirits right on and off the court?
Yeah, the last 2 years for us have been a tremendous challenge because at the end of the 17-18 season, I think we won 22 or 23 games in 17-18, and going into 18-19, we expected to be preseason number 1 in the America East Conference, and then late spring of 2018, my 2 best players ended up grad transferring, one to Villanova and one to Florida State. And at our level, you don't rebound from that, and you don't do it quickly. So last year, 18-19, the last 12 or 13 games of the year, we started 5 freshmen. So it wasn't a rebuild. It was like a reset. Really liked our freshmen. They got a chance to learn how to play at the Division I level. And then going into, this year, the 19-20 season, we're a year older. Now it's time to learn how to win, learn how to play last year, learn how to win now, because we hadn't experienced a season like last year in a long time. So, and we got off to a slow start. We've had a ton of injuries, lost some guys for the majority of the season, but right now we're starting to play pretty good basketball. I think what you have to do is each kid's a little bit different, and at our level, we're not getting finished products. So player development is huge, and improvement from year to year is crucial, and you have to find ways to improve in season. I think a lot of coaches think that player development is a fall, spring, and summer ordeal. It's a year-round thing. So, you have to find time in season, every practice, where you can find a window where you can do specific things for each guy in your program to get better. If you continue to get better and evolve individually, if you have unselfish and hardworking kids, you're going to get better collectively. So, we treat every kid a little bit differently when it comes to player development because each guy has certain things they need to get better at. And we try to really zero in on that and make sure our guys get reps, make sure they get better. And half the battle is having kids in your program that want to get better.
You got that right, Coach. Another piece of that development piece is stretch conditioning program because you got to have guys to eat right, sleep enough, and also work out, get the right amount of lifts in so they can prevent injuries, so they can play for you hard from November hopefully through mid-March and beyond.
You know what? That's a tremendous point, and not enough coaches talk about that piece. And it's almost a three-part: the strength and conditioning, the diet, and the sleep. These college kids, I think they're all training to be professional video. So, they're playing video games till all hours. They eat junk most of the time. So you have to teach them how to eat, what to eat, when to eat. And we can control a lot of that when we're on the road with our guys and we're going through all of our pregame meals. When you're on campus, it's a little bit harder. A lot of kids like to eat late at night and, the pizza delivery and that type of stuff. And you try to get these kids to understand that the body is like a car. If there's no gas in the tank, the car is not going to run. Well, if these kids don't eat properly, they're not going to be able to play effectively and efficiently. And most kids nowadays don't want to get up and eat breakfast. So it's a continuous educational process of, the diet, the eating, the sleeping, and, the lifting, something we can control. So we're in there 4 days a week, preseason, postseason, and we lift 3 times a week when we're in season. Most of the in-season lifting is maintenance work, and, we're trying to make sure our guys don't lose what they trained so hard to gain, in the spring, summer, and fall. But, these kids, when you get them, they really are limited as far as their knowledge of the importance of the diet and the sleep. So that's something that we're always talking to them about. And now when we bring recruits on campus, part of our presentation with them is they spend some time with our strength and conditioning coach, and we have a segment just on nutrition and sleep. And a lot of kids and parents, comment about it, how, other schools they visited really didn't talk about that too much. They talked about lifting, but they didn't talk about the importance of the diet and the sleep. So that's something we've tried to really harp on with the recruiting piece and as well with our guys once we get them over a 4-year period.
And, Coach, you got 7 wins in non-conference play. Has to make you happy because for our listeners who don't understand this, you have to play guarantee games to raise money for the university. You have to go on the road a lot. That's always the issue as well. Can't get home games. So it's like, those 3 factors right there, to get 7 wins knowing you're up against that, has to make you feel really good and really toughen up your team for America East play.
Yeah, that's another good point. Scheduling is so important, and we have to bring in a certain amount of money to help the athletic department out, and so we play a couple of money games each year. And then the other thing too, in the world of scheduling now, these MTEs, these multi-team event tournaments have become really popular. So if you play in one and you're guaranteed 4 games, they really count as 2 as far as the number of games on your schedule, but you're getting 4, but the majority of those games are road games and/or neutral court games. So if we play in a multi-team event, which we do every year, that's 4 games away from home. If we play 2 to 3 money games, that's 6 to 7 games away from home right off the get-go. So now if our total non-conference schedule is 15 games, we're already up against the wall. So on most years, we're playing 5 home non-conference games and 10 non-conference games on the road or neutral court. Now, if you look at some of the big boys, If they play 15 non-conference games, they're playing 13 of them in their own building, and they're buying 6 or 7 wins with money games. So, it's tough, but it is what it is, and you just got to find ways to get it done. So that's why you feel really good when you have a good non-conference schedule. Scheduling is so important. It's harder and harder. I hear coaches tell me all the time, we need to schedule wins. Well, doesn't every coach in the country want to schedule wins? Because if we don't win, we're not keeping our jobs. I've never heard a coach tell me, I love scheduling losses.
Exactly.
So scheduling is critical, and you have to have a good balance because you want to go into conference play feeling pretty good about yourselves. If you overschedule and you walk into league play 3-12, your season could be over already before you even get to the league as far as the mental strain on your guys. Even though you reset and you're 0-0, kids are smart nowadays. They know they're 3-12. And as much as you say this is a new season, conference play, when you lose that many games, it's frustrating and it's hard to forget about it as you transition into conference play. So scheduling, is really important.
And, Coach, where do you feel like your team improved on most during that non-conference slate that you guys ran through before you got in the American East play?
Well, we have a dynamic backcourt. We have 2 really good guards that can score the ball, offensively. And, what we've needed, we've dealt with some injuries. So what we really have needed is a consistent third scorer. And when I use the word consistent, I don't mean the same guy. We just have to have a third guy get us double figures on a given night. So I think in league play we've gotten more consistent with that. We're shooting the ball a lot better from the 3-point line, in conference play, and we're starting to get healthier. So, it just seems to be clicking at the right time.
And like you said, Coach, you guys are 6-3 right now in conference play. America East is very tough. Vermont's always tough. Stony Brook's tough. Hartford's tough. It's a tough conference. 6-3 has to make you feel really happy. Just have to win over Binghamton the other day there.
Yeah, when you get into conference play, when you've been doing it for a long time, you develop some rivalries. And rivalry games, to me, or your rivals are teams that you've played meaningful games against, America East Conference Tournament championship games for the right to go to the NCAA tournament. So we've played a lot of meaningful games in my tenure against Vermont and Stony Brook, and those are all, in our league. And once you finish the first half of conference play, which we did recently, and Binghamton was our first game of the second go-around, everybody really knows what everybody's doing. Scouting, the comfort level with personnel and schemes with each team. I think a lot of it comes down to now, are you keeping your team fresh? Is your team healthy? Can you find more ways to get easier baskets, than your opponent? Are you getting to the free throw line? Are you limiting the transition baskets you're giving up? Are you making your opponent run offense 5 versus 5 every single possession? I used to say to our guys years ago, we have to take care of all the little things. But to be honest with you, the longer I've been doing this, I don't think there's any such thing as little things anymore. I think everything is important. And if you keep telling guys that these are little things, then I'm not sure they really value those things, or they don't think they're that important. They can just say it's just a little thing. I think everything, is important, and we need to embrace what we need to do every night, to win. And, we're hopeful here that we can make a nice run down the stretch here in second go around of conference play heading into the America East Conference tournament.
That's what I got for you, Coach. Who have been some coaching individuals who really helped you out in your time as a head coach in the business, and some guys you kind of can lean on and talk to when things get tough for you, man?
Yeah, I'm a little bit different. Is I didn't have a a godfather or a rabbi in this business. I didn't come from a certain tree. My dad was a longtime varsity high school coach, in Long Island, New York, and I was fortunate enough to play for him. And I grew up in a gym, and my first job coaching at the college level when I graduated was at the College of St. Rose in Albany, New York, working for Brian Bury. And at the time, my 3 years there, we went to 2 Elite Eights and the Final Four, and he was one of the most successful Division II coaches in the country. And then I go to coach junior college basketball for 3 years, had some success, went up to Albany as an assistant, and after, I think, 2 months, I get called into the AD's office, and I'm told that they're letting the head coach go, and they want me to be the interim coach the rest of the season, and they'll evaluate me. And usually when they tell you that is, hey, just steer the ship straight, and at the end of the year we'll find a new coach. I got lucky. They gave me the job, and I've been there ever since. And before I took the job at Albany, I had accepted a job at the University of Pittsburgh with Ben Howland. And when Ben was at Pitt, and a week later, the guy at Albany offered me the job, and Ben told me, you need to go take that job, because if you win, you'll be the next head coach. I didn't realize that by losing, I'd be the next head coach, but it worked out that way. And the reason I was able to get that job with Ben Howland is because Jamie Dixon and I became really good friends, who's now the head coach at TCU. So Jamie was pretty influential and, had really helped me out over the years. And, so like I said, I've just been fortunate. No Izzo, no Patino, none of that stuff. I just, I guess, did it backwards and got very lucky. And I think that's why I appreciate the job that I have, now, and I'll never forget it.
Well, Coach, I thank you for your time this evening, Coach. You're doing a great job at Albany. I know they're glad to have you. Glad to have you on the show for the first time, Coach. I hope to do it again with you real soon. I really enjoyed our talk this evening now.
Yeah, I'd love to do it again with you guys, and I appreciate you having me on. And, keep up the great work. Really enjoy it.
Thanks, Coach. Thank you so much, man. Have a great weekend as well, man.
Sounds good. Maybe I'll bump into you in Atlanta.
I'll definitely make sure that happens for sure.
Sounds good. Have a good one.
You too. That's Will Brown here on the Bossman Show.
Grab a hold of big breakfast flavor at Hardee's. Try 2 breakfast sliders for just $2.99. Get Applewood smoked bacon or freshly grilled sausage with fluffy eggs and golden melty cheese, all on a toasty little bun. Good morning. Start at Hardee's. Available now for a limited time at participating restaurants. Tax not included.
All right, folks, back on the Bossman Show here, joined by the Atlantic Sun Conference, Coach Tony Pujol, North Alabama Lions. Coach, what's up, man? You there, Coach?
Hello?
Okay, yeah,
I'm here now.
Coach. Okay, we got Coach on the line. Yeah, Coach, how things going with you guys over at North Alabama, man? I know you're trying to get this program up and running. I know it's a year 2 for you. Talk to us about what's been going on with you guys.
Well, I'll tell you, we've been really excited about the growth of our team in the last couple of years. Last year, in year 1, we've definitely put our guys through a gauntlet in non-conference and finished up 7-9 in the league, finished 6th overall, got to the postseason of our league. Not every team in our league makes it to the postseason, so not bad for year 1 to get into the postseason. And right now we're battling right now to see if there's a possibility for year 2, see if we can host a tournament game in the A-Sun, and only the top 4 teams in the league get a chance to do that. So right now we're in a 3-way tie for 4th with 5 games to play. So our guys got an opportunity here to make some special things happen.
And, Coach, what's been the biggest improvement in your program since we last spoke in 2018 when you first got hired? I know that jump from year 1 to year 2 is probably the biggest leap you're going to have for us. Improvements, getting to kind of set your standard and set your culture and getting more young men who you bring in to that fits your culture that you want to establish at North Alabama.
Well, not only do we have to, come into a program that a new system was put into play and all that, but you're also making the jump, right? You're going from the D2 level to the D1 level. So it's kind of like a double whammy. And what we decided to do was bring in 8 freshmen and 3 junior college kids, and we kept 2 leftovers from the last year's team. And like I said, we felt like we were going to grow this with freshmen. We had 2 guys that made the all-freshman team, and then we had one of the top 50 rebounders in the country on our team, and all 3 of them were freshmen. So we felt like we had a good nucleus coming back, and really, really excited about the group. I think the biggest transition to me is not even the speed or the physicality of the game. I think it's the biggest key for young guys, especially in a transition like this, is to maintain your focus for every time you're in workouts, every time you're in games, because you and I both know you lose your focus at this level and it's a 10-0 run and it could be the difference in the game. So I think that's been the biggest key for us, is to maintain our guys and keeping their focus. We told them that speed and physicality, that's going to come with time as soon as you get used to it. And, you know, players are just going to go out there and play. So I think it's the focus part.
And, Coach, kind of led me to my next point about the player development piece on and off the court, that mental piece of watching the film, because the eye in the sky does not lie. You can see, you put the film on and ask a guy, what were you thinking here on this rotation or on this back pick or whatever the case may be? Why did you do what you did? So that piece, also the piece of the conditioning, coach, and you both know, I both know this is very important. The sleep aspect, the food aspect of it, and the lifting to prevent injuries, because you guys play from November to March at a high level 2 or 3 times a week in some cases, and the tournament time back to back. So you got to have these guys physically fit, mentally fit. So development on off the court and in the weight room and nutrition wise is very key, especially at the level you guys are in the A-Sun.
No doubt. I mean, and for us, that's huge. You know, we have our own strength and conditioning coach. It's something that when I first got hired here, I needed to have right off the bat, and you know, our university provided it. And I'll tell you, he's key for us, because, like you're saying, there's nothing more important than the well-being of the guys in the program. And you know, from a player development standpoint, I think you hit the nail right on the head. It's not just about the basketball piece. I think there's many components, right? So we're believers here about building the person first. So this year we do a book reading every summer with our players, and this summer being the first summer, because our transition year, we only had them here in July. This was the first year, complete year, that we had them right after the season of year one, which was that April-May period. Then we had them in the month of June for summer and the month of July for summer, where the year before we only had them for the month of July. So this year was the first year that we had them for the entire time. And one of the things that we do is, obviously, we had our book reading. We read the book Legacy by James Kerr. It's the story of the All Blacks, the rugby team out of New Zealand, and how they prepare, how they do things on a day in and day out basis. To have the winningest athletic program in the history of the world. You know, it's the best rugby team, but it's also the best winning percentage of all time for the length of time. So for us, it's all about a culture, right? So that's an area that we try to build, is the player first. And then we understand that once you build the player first, now you really don't have to worry about the weight room. Now you don't have to worry about the classroom. Now you don't have to worry about on the court, because when you develop the player, when you develop the person first, the player is going to never take shortcuts on the court. He doesn't take shortcuts in the weight room. He doesn't take shortcuts in the classroom, because you're focusing on the human being. And for us, that's huge.
You got that right, Coach. I'll tell you what, and I feel like, with what you're building in North Alabama is very key, because we go from D2 to D1 is already a hard transition as is, because you bumping up, having guys who are freshly that you guys brought in, those freshmen. So you're going to have really get through this very, very well, because you have guys in your program, in your culture, who are getting better daily.
No doubt about it. I mean, that's the key. The key is daily improvements, right? So we talk to our guys constantly about what are you doing today to make yourself better. We always talk about, our guys understand they got to get 1% better every day. That's a key for us, because if you do that every day, think about it. If you're 1% better every day, what are you going to be at the end of the year? You're going to be 365% better. That's the key. And our focus with our guys is simply that. Let's make sure we're getting better today. What are the steps that we're taking from an academic standpoint? What are the steps we're taking from a basketball standpoint? What are the steps we're taking in being men, right? How are we living our life? And for us, you hit the nail right on the head. That's key for us, is let's get better every day and let the results take care of themselves.
Got that right. That's how I live every day of my life as well in the radio world. Let's get better every day. Let's just find something I can improve on every day. So I do the same thing in my radio career as well. And the coach, now for my listeners out here who don't understand this, in the ASUN, you guys have to play guarantee games a lot to raise money for the university. You have to be on the road a lot, so not many home games. So to get 5 wins in non-conference play with those dynamics has to make you happy. You might want to win a few more games, but the fact that you won 5, knowing that's what you had to deal with, keeping your guys motivated to win 5 in conference play, has made make you feel very, very happy with your team and their resolve so far.
No doubt. I mean, you look at our schedule the year before, this year, and even moving forward to next year, it's going to be a staple of our program that we're going to be playing. We played Florida State this year, top 6 team in the country. We played against Indiana on the road. We played South Carolina on the road. But the good thing about all that is I think it prepares our guys for what lies ahead, what we're going to be combating against in the ASUN, having to play against Liberty and North Florida and Lipscomb and, Jacksonville and Stetson. I mean, go down the list, Florida Gulf Coast. I mean, it prepares you for league play. And at the end of the day, that's what you're wanting to do anyways, is you got to go win your conference, right? You win your conference, you get a shot at postseason. So I think it's going to be a staple for us year in and year out to go out there and compete against teams in the non-conference that are going to prepare us for league play. And by the way, while you're doing that, you're raising money for your program, you're raising money for your budget, so that you can go out and, like we just did, we just built a brand new player lounge for our players. Because at the end of the day, you got to take care of the guys in your program. So we just took care of our players and built them a brand new player lounge that they're going to be getting into here in a week or so.
Man, making that money count for sure, Coach. And also, I see, Coach, you have a young man on your roster from right here in Atlanta, James Anderson II. Talk about what this young man has meant to your program so far.
Well, I got a couple guys from that area. Number one, I got James Anderson. Obviously, went to junior college, was a junior college All-American, and he's contributed really, really well. Now, unfortunately for James, he didn't really he didn't get a lot out of the summer because in pickup he broke his foot and had to miss pretty much the summer. But he got his books done. He worked on his upper body, but had to wait to get him on the floor until September. And then I got Mervyn James, who went to Pebblebrook in that area as well. Got a couple guys that have come in and really contributed. Mervyn James is a freshman for us. He's been a starter on our team all year at the 4 spot for us. And then James Anderson has been basically the 6th man off the bench, and he's done a tremendous job. So both those guys from that area have really impacted the program here at North Alabama.
And how important is it for you, Coach, to keep coming over this way and getting players? Because it's only a state over from Alabama, and I feel like it's not that far away from guys to get home. So what do you find good about the Georgia high school system, the AAU system in Georgia, about how the coaches are at that level to get guys who are ready to play once you recruit them?
Well, I'll tell you right now, for me, it's part of the footprint of our program as far as recruiting. We have people here that have connections, and myself, my staff are connected in the area, and we're gonna definitely recruit relationships. And you're right. I mean, there's even a flight that you could take from Muscle Shoals right here into Atlanta with boutique air, and it gets you here in 45 minutes. So instead of you don't even need to drive 4 hours. You could just go and and just hop on a plane, and you're in that spot in 45 minutes. As far as the area itself, come on. I mean, it speaks for itself. I mean, you got players that not only stay in state, but have gone out of state and had success. And as far as the coaching is concerned, to me, to coach in an area like that, you got to have the right people. And I'll tell you right now, the coaches that I've dealt with from that area are not only great guys that understand talent, but they're also great X and O's guys. So I'll be honest with you, I think it's a hotbed for basketball, the Atlanta area, but the entire state of Georgia is also a hotbed for recruiting.
Yes, indeed. You got that right, Coach. I see a lot of guys in here all the time trying to find the dominant rep for their programs. Well, Coach Pujol, thank you for your time today, Coach. Got to catch up with you again. We'll do it again real soon, Coach. Hope to see you at the Final Four as well.
You got it, JR. Good to see you, man.
All right, man. Have a good one, Coach. Talk to you real soon, buddy.
Take care.
All right, now that's Tony Pujol on the Bossman Show.
Sally Beauty's new all-in-one hair color kits make it easy to color your hair at home. Get everything you need to color for beautifully radiant results. Loved by professionals, open to everyone. Sally Beauty.
All right, folks, back in the Bossman Show. Here we're coming Maciarello to the Siena Saints out of MAC Conference. Coach, good to talk to you again. What's up, man?
Hey, just living the dream. Just looking forward to our game, 9 o'clock on Valentine's Day, ESPNU. Should be a great one. Got a nice ticket package up here, 2 tickets for $25, and take your honey out for dinner, and then come and have some Siena Saints for dessert. You know what I mean?
Yes, indeed, Coach. You know it's going to be a great game because, the Riders first place in the MAC right now. You guys right on their heels at 7-5. Let's talk about that matchup with Kevin Baggett and his guys up there with the Bronx there, man.
Yeah, Coach Baggett does a great job. We lost a tough one early in the conference season at Ryder down there in Lawrenceville, but he's got tremendous talent and depth, and he plays with Demencio Vaughn and Stevie Jordan at the point. Tyree Marshall's their center up front. Fred Scott's a big-time transfer he got in, who's a stretch 4 who can score the basketball, and it's just a great time to play a great team at home. We expect over probably close to 7,000 fans. We probably have the best attendance in the MAC conference, and great fans up here in Albany, New York at the Times Union Center, so I'm thankful for them.
Now, Coach, we talked to you earlier in spring when you first got hired. Talk to me. What's been your biggest improvements in the program since you've taken over full-time now, as you're just being the head man now?
Yeah, it's been great. To be honest with you, when it's your name on the door and it's your program, you're able to kind of, have it take your personality, and we've been able to kind of, get to the free throw line a lot more than last year and improved our pace of play. We've also been able to kind of, make a living on that offensive glass and get some points that way. At one point, I'm not sure if we're first or second right now in scoring offense in the conference. So, able to kind of score the basketball. And for the last 4 out of 5 games, we've been able to hold our team, the opponent, under 65 points. Last game we played Fairfield, held them to 49 points and held them to 30% shooting. So, trying to get our defense clicking on all cylinders to coincide with our offense. But it's been fun, man. Just, enjoying just growing with this team. We played a tough non-conference schedule, but I think we grew up, playing at Xavier, playing at Yale, playing at Harvard. So, able to kind of get battle tested to get ourselves ready for this MAC play. And now we got this stretch run in February here with, 3 straight home games. We got Ryder on Friday night, then we got Manhattan, and then we got Iona. So, 3 tough ones all in a row, but just looking to get better one day at a time.
And, Coach, we're going to get better this summer and fall. I know your guys in the play development piece is very key for you guys. So talk to us a little bit about the development piece of how you got to attack that this summer, getting guys in tune with your style of play and your coaching style, and also the nutrition-wise, the sleep piece of it as well, and getting the weight room, get on lift sets, they can be stronger and give you what the hard play you want them to give you from November through now into early March and beyond, hopefully.
Yeah, I think it's a lot to do with kind of our mindset with how we schedule and kind of how we build these guys' schedules during the off season. We did some Navy SEAL training with the program, which was great to kind of, forge out our leadership and kind of tell us a little bit about our guys before we even got into the thick of things with the season. My philosophy is, too, especially after game days, most guys take that next day off. Well, I'm going to take the second day off. The day after a game, I'm going to get our guys in the weight room for a recovery lift and do some stretching and some yoga. We'll also do some shooting to kind of get that lactic acid out of the muscles. And then that next day will be off, because I always feel like you give guys a day off the day after the game, they don't get out of bed and they don't do what they got to do to take care of their body. So now you're kind of behind the eight ball when it comes to recovery. So I make sure we handle that recovery piece. And then, same thing with travel. I try to plan the travel, try to plan our meals. So we always usually practice at home before we get on the bus to go travel, because, we don't really have, too many long bus rides. Our longest bus trip is out to Buffalo, where we play Canisius in Niagara. So that's about 4.5 hours. So everything is shorter than that. So we can practice at home and make sure we're taking care of our bodies that way. And, we try to lift at least 2 to 3 times a week, even during season, whether it's a maintenance lift or a recovery lift. We're always going to do something with Ernie Rauch, our strength and conditioning coach, who does a great job. And then that nutrition piece, too, we make sure our guys hydrate. We actually weigh ourselves before and after practice to make sure we're replacing that amount of water that we lose during practice and competition.
Now, Coach, I know with your success this year, man, it's helping you on the recruiting trail. I know Siena's already a known brand. You're the head man there now, and I feel like, with the success you had already in the MAC so far, making this run 7-5 now, I feel like when you make those phone calls, guys are listening more now. Like, oh, Siena, how about I want to go there now? So how are you feeling about how things going on the recruiting trail now with you and your staff there?
Yeah, excited. We actually got a transfer from University of Rhode Island, Dana Tate. He's actually here now, sitting out. He was a 4-star recruit, so excited about him. He's a mismatch forward. He's got guard skills. He's about 6'7", 6'8". And then we also got a freshman that enrolled early from Lee Prep Academy in Maine. He's a Connecticut kid. His name's Aiden Carpenter, so he's here actually practicing with our team as well. So we got 2 good guys already here to kind of get ready for next season that are, learning our system and learning our ways and already getting ingrained with our culture. So that's really important for me. And, have a couple good guys that signed national letter of intents already. And so we're still working on 2020, but we always want to be recruiting 3 classes. So we're still working on 20, but 21, 22, and even 2023. So it's never too early to know the good players and kind of who's involved with them and who's helping in their recruitment. I always think you can be doing that due diligence and that background work early and just working on building bridges and relationships with people.
Now, Coach, you kind of mentioned the non-conference season briefly, but where do you feel like your team improved the most on court during non-conference? I know non-conference, you see many different styles which prepare you for the MAC. So where do you feel like your team really improved on the courts and those different defense, different styles of play that they're really honing in on now that they're in MAC play here?
Yeah, I just think guarding the ball and kind of what we want to do defensively on the ball screens, how we want to play in transition offensively and share the ball. I thought we've grown tremendously in that regard, where we're able to kind of push the ball up the floor and, outlet it above the foul line and throw it down the sideline and then throw it to the rim. And sometimes we've had possessions where we don't even need to use a dribble. So that's been beautiful to watch develop. Besides that, obviously being able to execute with that kind of mindset where you don't want to have anyone push you off your spot, dictating where you want to catch the ball, who you want to catch the ball, and when. So we've been able to kind of ingrain our culture, too, of just style of play with our physicality, getting open and our cutting, and how we want to attack the paint, whether it's off the pass or the dribble. So guys have done a great job buying into the philosophy and understanding that it's always about, the players. Siena basketball is a players program, and it's about them. It's never going to be about me or the coaching staff. It's going to be about the guys that believed in the vision and came here to bring it to fruition.
And I feel like this coach as well, the adversity you face in non-con gives you that callous, per se, that hardened shell for MAC, because these guys are on your level. You're playing high majors, upper, mid-major schools as well, so you're dealing with that. So when you come to the MAC, it's like, okay, we played guys better than you. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, not to brush them aside, but it's like, hey, you're on our level now. We've dealt with what's above us, so it shouldn't be as adverse now playing guys in the MAC, or if it gets tough in the second half, you've dealt with that already non-con, you're out of the way then. So now we're in really miles for seeding for that conference tournament right there you got coming up. I feel like you guys already been through that fire a little bit there.
For sure, and it also helps, there's no more freshmen in college basketball when you get into February. So, there's 3 freshmen in our rotation. I play about 9 guys. and 3 of those guys are freshmen, 2 of them are grad transfers. So now there's 5 guys that basically didn't play last year in this program, and they've done a good job of understanding what's expected of them. And, I think the biggest thing for freshmen is understanding how much mental work goes into the game with scouting reports and, little details with execution or game plan. So for me, it's been really enjoyable watching those guys grow. And, you can test where they are in their aptitude in that tough non-conference. And that's why we kind of played that type of schedule, was, like you said, to get them ready for MAC play. And now I think we're finally starting to gel and peak at the right time. And that's the most important thing. You want to be playing your best basketball leading up to March.
And you're 10-0 at home, so I feel like you've made that emphasis to defend the home court there. So I feel like 10-0 right there. So I feel like the guys were focused at home, and this guy may kind of get them transfer that same focus on the road as well going forward.
Yeah, and, we had a great win at Iona, who was the 4-time defending champ. We won there by double digits for our first road win, and I thought guys were able to kind of realize, hey, they've been able to get off to better starts on the road, and we've been able to start halves better as well to start the second half. And like you said, those details matter, and also that sense of urgency, every single play. You want your guys to have confidence, but you never want them to be overconfident. And then the other piece is getting them to realize, hey, we know now how to handle success. We expect to win, but just because we won yesterday doesn't mean we're going to win today, or doesn't mean we're going to win tomorrow. You got to do those little details and take care of those little things every single day if you want to be successful for just game one. And then you got to do it all over again for the next game, and all over again for the third game. And you have to build those habits, and then they have to be ingrained and forged, and it has to be done over and over again. And that's the biggest thing with me and this teaching of this group is, you got to continually build those habits day in, day out. And I think finally our guys are starting to realize how hard they have to work daily. So I've even cut down our practices to 60 to 75 minutes a day, where I just put that amount of time on the clock and I let that thing just run down, and they know how much effort they have to give. And then once that clock hits 0, they know they're done.
And speaking of that, like with this week off between games here, I'm trying to do a little self-scouting as well, kind of see what things you can pick up, some things on yourself, and maybe tweak some things here or there, and put a new play or two in, a new wrinkle to kind of throw off a rider on Friday night there.
For sure. So that's one thing we've worked on today, is just getting back to working on ourselves and doing some, close game situations, 4 minutes left, and 65 all tie ball game, and side out of bounds. What are you going to do execution wise? What are you going to do defensively? So working with the staff on different situations like that, reviewing some of our defensive concepts, and then just working on basic fundamentals of everything from guarding the ball 1-on-1 to 2-on-2 all the way to 5-on-5, and then making sure we box out and talking about being physical in the post and walling up. And so just from A to Z, just working on different concepts that'll help us, get down the road here when we get to March. Just kind of, reinforcing great concepts that we've taught, and now just kind of going back and reviewing them, just like a teacher getting ready for an exam.
You got there, right, Coach. Good to catch up with you again, Coach. I'm glad we got this done, man. I've been happy. I've been keeping my eye on your program, and I do want to have you on the show, and I'm glad we got to get it done today, man. I'm happy for you, and I can't wait to see what you guys do Friday night against Router, man.
Appreciate it, boss man.
Anytime, Coach. Have a good one. Talk to you real soon, buddy.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
All right.
How do you feel about your office? Is it just a space for your company, or is it a space to help you grow your company? From new HQs to satellite offices, with WeWork, you can find a space that works for you. Visit we.co/space matters to learn more.
All right, folks, back on the Bossman Show. We're here with DeChellis of the Navy Midshipmen. We've been doing a lot of basketball in the Petro League Conference, but now we got Ed DeChellis from Navy. Coach, how are you guys in Annapolis, man?
Everything is going well in Annapolis. Just got out of practice, and it's a busy time for all of us. Our kids are studying hard this week too. So basketball is important, but academics are equally or more important now, and we're in the middle of 6 weeks exams. So our guys were up at 6, and they had their first exams today at 6:55, and when we have exams all week, so we got to work through that as well.
Now, Coach, you're in the middle of year 9 leading the Midshipmen. Tell us, what's been your greatest accomplishment in your mind since being there these past 9 years of great time in Annapolis there?
Yeah, well, I don't know if there's one thing. I think the most proud I am of is our players and what they do, following, playing for us. I'm very fortunate to coach great young men who do great things here, but really, really special things once they graduate. I've got the opportunity to coach, Navy fighter pilots. I've got the opportunity to coach helicopter pilots. I've got an opportunity to coach a young man who's who's a Navy SEAL, and guys who were, stationed all across the world, and guys who drive ships, and guys who are in the Marine Corps, and so forth. So it's I'm most proud of the relationships I have with these young men, and I hope my thing is I hope in some small way I've been able to help them become better leaders through our basketball program, because once they graduate from here, they're automatically put in positions of leadership across the world. And they always call and talk to me and say, Coach, remember when you had to be doing those suicides and all those runs? And now I try to, now I know it's that we can do that. And so I try to push my team, whatever that may be, to rise above and do good things as well.
And Coach, recruiting young men for the Naval Academy has as much different than it is a lot of schools in the nation in D1. So, what are the differences you have to how to approach a young man to get them to commit to join the Naval Academy? So, what's kind of the right fit for you guys' culture and the Naval Academy itself?
Yeah, well, it's important. You're a great question. The fit is really important. First of all, for us academically, they've got to be really, really bright kids and able to handle the academic load here. Our kids average 17 and 19 hours a semester. They're taking calculus, chemistry, physics, electrical engineering, thermodynamics, cybersecurity. So academically, they've got to be on top of their game. And then we want obviously good basketball players because we want to win. We really want to try to win this Patriot League championship and get to the NCAA tournament. So trying to recruit good players is very important. And then the fit, I think that you spoke about is really vital because some kids just don't fit. And there's not a lot of free time here. We don't have a lot of nonsense going on campus here, maybe that some other college campuses have. So our kids work hard in the classroom. They got to work hard basketball, and they got to work hard in their military obligation. So there's not a whole lot of free time. They don't, some of them don't get weekends off. Some of them are here for the weekends. And that fit is very, very important because when they graduate here, they've got to serve, the United States Navy or Marine Corps for 5 years. And that's where, a lot of young people, that's kind of the deciding factor is if they think they can serve and serve our country and protect our country. And it's a selfless service here. If a young man's not selfless and doesn't want to help other people, it's not involved in whether it's their church or their community or their school, or they're giving of themselves, then it's probably not the right fit for us.
And Coach, speaking about the on-court development around the military development, so in the off seasons, the June, July, the springs after the basketball season ends, how do you guys structure that? Because not like in most schools, they have military curriculum as well. So that off-court player development piece, how does that part come in the summertime academically as well? We try to fit that in amongst all what they have going on beyond just the basketball court.
Yeah, good question. So, we're able to work out in the spring after the season's over, and then, we have finals the first part of May, and then they last for about 10 or 12 days, and then the kids are here on campus, and we can work out with them because they have to stay for graduation at the end of May. But then they have military duties, and so they got to travel, and they have to have military experiences throughout the summer. So, other places get their kids for, maybe 8 weeks or so during the summer, maybe longer. We get our kids for about 3 weeks is about all we get them. And so our summers are broken up into 3 different blocks. And one of the blocks is that they got to go do a military experience. So they could be sent to San Diego or Japan or Hawaii or wherever across the world for a 4-week military experience. And then somewhere along the way, we got to get them home for 3 weeks or so. I have kids that freshmen have only been home 3 days since June 28th. And so we got to get them home, and that's important. And then we bring them back for a 3-week block where they can take a course academically, and then we can in turn work them out, and lift and work out basketball wise. But it's different here. Our kids have to work out on their own when they're somewhere else, because, like I said, it's they have to do different things here. It's not only just about basketball here. As the Admiral Miller who hired me, he said, Coach, we want to be good in basketball. We want to achieve, but we also, our kids are going to be officers, and we have to prepare them for that as well, because they're going to be officers in the most powerful military force in the world, and we take that very seriously as well.
And Coach, non-conference scheduling wise, I know it's hard to get home games. You're on the road a lot, so you're playing up-level opponents a lot as well. So
sure,
it has to make you happy that you got 6 wins in non-conference, knowing the dynamics of mid-major basketball for us, not getting home games, and it's been on the road a lot. So you have to be happy to get 6 wins out of that, knowing what you got to go through.
Yeah, well, yeah, we play. We play some teams at home. We try to get some non-conference games at home, and then we got to go on the road, and we play George Mason over there, and the guaranteed game. We play after Christmas University of Virginia for the guaranteed game, and then we split the other ones up. So we had 6 going in, and we're 12 wins overall now. We're 6-6 in the league. We were rolling. We were 5-2 at one point. Now we've had some sickness. We've had some illness. We've got some guys a little banged up, and we're not shooting the ball very well right now. So we hit a little lull, and everybody does. Every college program hits a little lull somewhere along the way, and ours has been over the last 10 days. But we have an opportunity on Wednesday against Bucknell at home to try to get ourselves going and right in the right direction. So there's a lot of basketball to be played yet. Non-conference was pretty successful for us. Now we're right in the middle of that conference season.
Yeah, I've noticed the race in the Patriot League has kind of been up and down. Colgate's kind of up at the top right now, but I've seen a lot of shift between you and American and BU. So I've been seeing the up and down right there in the middle there. You guys kind of jockeying for position there, because you guys play your campus games on site in the tournament, so getting the seeding is very crucially key. So trying to get those guys out of that lull against Bucknell, and because you keep on going, that'll be very key as that Patriot tournament comes up here real soon.
Yeah, it does, and it's a good point. We're all playing for seeding, and Colgate, we lost up there by 7 on Saturday, but we actually beat Boston on the road. We actually beat Bucknell on the road, and Lehigh on the road. We're done with them, and so we won some home games, but it's really important to continue to win. I think there's about 3 or 4 teams. Four teams. We're all jumbled up, and the last 6 games is really going to tell the tale where you land, and so you can get some seeding and hopefully get a home game to start the Patriot League playoffs.
Now, Coach, you have a young man on your roster from Fayetteville, Georgia, right down the road from where I stay at in South Atlanta, Nate Allison. So talk about this young man and what did you see in him when you recruited him, and what do you see him be for your program going forward?
Yeah, Nate Allison's a great young man, great kid, hard worker. You talked about the fit earlier. He is a great fit for us. He's a freshman, so all freshmen have to try to find their way. He works hard every day. He's a frontline guy for us. He's bigger and stronger right now. He's put on probably 15, 18 pounds since he came. A strong young man, and really competes. Love his competitive spirit. So we think down the road he's going to be a really, really good player for us.
Last one I got for you, Coach, is one about you. Coach, who have been some coaches and guys in the coaching business that really helped you out a lot and kind of got you and wanted to be a coach in this business, and guys you kind of lean on when things get tough for you?
Yeah, well, great question. I'm an old dude now. I'm 61.
Coach, you're middle-aged, man. You're not old. You're a middle-aged guy. You're not old. Man, we're living 100 now, man.
Yeah. we start making some shots. I'm going to feel older. I started my career at Penn State as an assistant for a guy named Dick Hughes, and Coach Harder gave me an opportunity to join the staff as a graduate assistant, and then continue that trend at Penn State for, I guess my mentor is a guy named Bruce Parkhill, and he came in and kept me on as a GA when there was a coaching change. And then I worked for I worked for Bruce for 10 years at Penn State. And we went from the Atlantic 10 to the Big 10 and had some really good years. And so I think that, Coach Parkhill, who's retired now, has been the guy that has really helped me in my career. And then, you make friends along the way, and then there's other guys that step in and help you and bounce ideas off. But, I've been very, very fortunate. I've been to great places. Penn State's won as an assistant, and I went to East Tennessee State, the head coach, and had some success. And then went back to Penn State as a head coach and had success. And then came here because I wanted to come to Navy to see if I could build a program here, see if we could win a championship, and really mainly for the experience of coaching these quality young men. And so I've had a fulfilling career.
Well, Coach, I feel like you did a good job. I remember you was at ETSU. I went to Tennessee State, so I know all about ETSU up there, Johnson City, the Bucks up there. So I did used to be there. I didn't know that.
Yeah, great place. Johnson City was a great place. We really enjoyed it. My family enjoyed it. And now Coach Forbes is doing a great job up there now at East Tennessee State. And always happy to root for the Bucks, that's for sure.
Well, Coach, I'm going to be definitely rooting for you guys against Bucknell this week. I hope to talk to you again real soon. I enjoyed our conversation, Coach. We'll have to do it again real soon now.
All right, buddy. Thank you. You have a good night, okay?
Anytime. Thanks, Coach.
Hip-hop fans, I got a great album for you. The debut album from Family Grind ENT, True Speech and 313 Fresh. We're going to give you 2 discs, 33 songs of pure, genuine hip-hop. Albums available on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, illstreetrex.com, and streaming live right now on Rhapsody, Beats Music, Spotify, Xbox Music, Slacker Radio, and SoundCloud. Check them out today. True Speech and 313 Fresh. Family Grind ENT. Believe in it. Get it.
A gorgeous tan from Suntan City gives you an inner glow that relights the fire when you run into your first crush.
Vicky, who was that?
An old boyfriend.
Lucky you just tanned at Suntan City.
Lucky he's single. We're doing lunch tomorrow.
Won't be single for long then.
During Tour of the City, try all 5 tans, including spray tan, for just $4.99. Restrictions may apply. Click to buy now.
Suntan City, let yourself shine. When you're a teen, you finally get to make some of your own decisions. Who are you going to hang out with? What do you want to be? Are you going to glance at that text while driving? Remember, a split second is all it takes for something tragic to happen. Be in the zone. Turn off your phone. Visit childrenshospital.vanderbilt.org/BITZ to learn more about our teen driver safety program. Brought to you by Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt, the Ford Motor Company Fund, and the Allstate Foundation.
It's maybe the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer. All the stars are closer.
Tell me what you gonna do to me. Confrontation ain't nothing new to me. You could bring a bullet, bring a sword, bring a morgue, but you can't bring the truth to me.
Alexa, play Kendrick Lamar and SZA.
Okay. Maybe the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer.
With Amazon Music, a voice is all you need. Get tens of millions of songs. Download the Amazon Music app today.
Yeah, it's your man JC, the host with the most, baby, and it goes down each and every Saturday night right here in the city of Memphis. That's right, y'all. It goes down at Clicks Sports Bar Memphis, baby. 3705 Malco Way, Memphis, Tennessee, 38125. Come out and join us, the Three Kings, each and every Saturday night for the livest karaoke in the city. Everybody gets in free till 10 p.m. Only $5 after. Great food. We got drink specials. We got all kind of games, man. We got the pool tables popping. Whatever you want, we got you, man. Come on out. Have a good time with us each and every Saturday night. That's Clicks Sports Bar, Memphis.